find either the firms or the people they can trust, and then delegate and trust. Because the culture is different and the environment is different, and sometimes when they don't trust, they ask for things that are less relevant to the success of the function than what we know. So that's also an educational process. We have to educate maybe local companies, but we have to educate also multinational companies. And due to our maturity and experience, we actually do that. So we put ourselves in the role of shareholder. If I want to run this business, what do I need? So I don't listen to the orders or the spec of the client, but I try to figure it out for myself and then to transmit it to the client. And if he trusts me, he will be doing the right thing.
Yeah. I have the impression, sorry, you mentioned that the markets are quite different. I think that, for instance, in regions like Europe, even in South Asia, I have the impression that you have more similarities in the way of doing the things. No, in Latin America, the quality of the talent pool is different country by country. The culture, it is is quite different. There's some countries that are where the institutions work better than in others. In some countries, a country manager, a general manager, has to deploy a tremendous amount of time in interacting with authorities, for instance, doing kind of lobbying and things like that. In other countries, in the same position, you don't need to do that much, So this is also something that condition the jobs and the way of operating country by country. And I think that this is something critical for the multinationals.
What I can add is that some experiences I have had is that, let's say, an Anglo-Saxon company designates a regional VP who is Spanish-speaking because he comes from some Spanish-speaking country. And they think that because he speaks Spanish, he will understand the culture. But there are big cultural differences within Latin America. So Latin America North not necessarily understands Latin America South. Let's say a person from Mexico, from Puerto Rico, might understand or might not understand the culture. So it's not a matter only of language, it's deeper than that. In countries like ours, first, the person has to be much more political than technical. So the companies do not develop technical management tools, but they have to insert themselves in the business community. So a general manager of a company in Argentina probably has to be able to speak to the president or to Congress members and in chambers. Also, if you look at the variation of GDP in Argentina, at least in the last years, it's a terrible zigzag, so you have ups and downs. And I would say the main qualification required is to be able to adapt to those. So a plan which you developed in October 2017 to be executed in 18 probably is invalid in February 18, so you will have to do it again and again. And the other characteristic is to be able to describe all this in a sincere way to the shareholders and create a confidence in the ability of this person to manage with independence.